How's it going, YouTube? Freedom March back here with another video. And today we're talking about yet another crooked politician that is not to be trusted, Cory Booker. Now, this guy is pretty much the same as Kamala Harris. He has no black agenda. He tries to tiptoe around talking about or discussing black issues, yet he never directly uses the word black or African American unless somebody forces him to, and even then he still dodges the proposed question. So let's talk about this black agenda that these politicians are become very dubious about. So first of all, on an interview at the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God asked him a question: what agenda do you have for African Americans? The first thing this guy does is laugh. Huh? Who's laughing? It wasn't funny. Did nobody find that funny? The question was serious. What is your agenda for African Americans? He laughs because he said, I know, I got no agenda for, I ain't do nothing for black people. This is completely unacceptable, and this is why his video, that video that's on YouTube, by the way, has an incredible amount of dislikes, and he already knows that it blew up in his face. He already knows that what he did blew up in his face, and it failed dramatically. When you don't have a black people are finally becoming politically mature. Excuse me. And we have finally reached a critical mass of black people who are politically literate, or at least smart enough to discuss or show their political literacy online, whether it be via Twitter, YouTube, whatever. We're showing these politicians that if you have no black agenda, you have no black vote. This guy laughed and scoffed at the idea of a black agenda because these politicians are used to getting our votes, especially these Democrats, your good old liberals, but not doing anything for black people. Then have the audacity to get angry when you ask them that. And he even said, Charlamagne the God, during the interview on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God even said, well, we've heard this phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats, but it doesn't happen for black people. And Cory Booker responds by politician-splaining. So basically, he ain't say nothing because he ain't gonna do nothing for black people. That's the biggest issue. He doesn't have a black agenda. When anybody approaches him with a black agenda, he refuses to answer it. So he refuses to even acknowledge the word black or African American specifically. You ask him about a black agenda, all Americans. You ask him about a gay, LGBT, or Jewish agenda, oh, well, the LGBT community and the Jewish community this, and gays that, and he addresses them by name, but he has an issue, just like Kamala Harris, with addressing black people by name. Now, that's one. The second thing is the guy's a little confused on racial discrimination in this country's history, and you would think him being African American, supposedly, he would not be that confused. Now, during the interview, in front of a live audience, by the way, he said, when discussing blackface, now listen to this very closely, when discussing blackface, we have to put ourselves in the white people's shoes, not the black people who have been systematically marginalized for over half a millennium, the people who have, not all, but definitely those who are compliant, more than enough, have been complicit in this dubious behavior of oppressing people for our skin color during this entire period and to this day. We have to put ourselves in their shoes, not our shoes. Long story short, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We all know the history, well, hopefully we all know the history of blackface, and as a black person, we don't need to put ourselves in anybody else's shoes. Everybody needs to see where we're. See, this is the issue. Everybody has problems and gets made whole again, but us. And this is why I'm telling you guys, if a politician does not have a black agenda, do not vote for them. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys for this video. Cory Booker is just as corrupt as the rest of them. And he thinks because Kamala Harris is under fire, he can slither in like a snake and sneak in some black votes. No, we got ammunition for both of y'all, but that's all I wanted to say. Thanks guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next video.